When my urge to travel kicks in, I'm someone who wants to experience a perfect holiday. Some sun and sand at the beach, revisit history, a walk through the forest, maybe even find my spiritual side. Basically, I want the complete package, and that's when I heard of Karnataka, which promises all of this and much more. I'm Anjana Appanna at the Bangalore International Airport, and I'm setting off into the state right now with book, baggage, and a head filled with excitement, hoping to discover the many worlds in Karnataka. Namaskara. Okay, I'm all set and very, very excited. I've got on my traveling boots, my car is ready, and well, I just can't wait to hit the road. I get the feeling I'm not just going to discover a whole lot of Karnataka, I think I'm going to find a bit of myself in there as well. And the journey finally begins with a drive through the picturesque streets of Bangalore, right from the bottom of the state to the tip of it, 735 kilometers away, all the way to Bidar. Super excited and a super wonderful way to start this journey. As you enter Bidar town, the last thing you expect is to be taken on a journey back in time. Yet that's exactly the feeling as you walk through Bidar Fort. The brick red domes stand witness to the splendor of the Bahmani rulers. Well, right now I'm here at a palace called the Rangeen Mahal, built by the last emperor that ruled this fort, Ali Bidar Shah, and it is absolutely beautiful. It's called the Rangeen Mahal because of the tile work that lines the entire palace, and it's here behind me as well. The tile works come all the way from Kirman, and there's also some fabulous mother of pearl decoration on the inside. Apart from that, this woodwork, which has lasted all these years, has now become particular to this region, and it's called Bidri. It's absolutely wonderful. After a walk through Rangeen Mahal, make sure you go right on top of the palace for a beautiful bird's eye view of the entire expanse of the fort, where you can truly appreciate the architecture of the Bahmani rulers. Located at the absolute tip of the state, Bidar is a great way to explore the rich textural culture of Karnataka. This fort here, the Bidar Fort, was built back in 1426 by the first Bahmani ruler, Sultan Ahmad Shah Wali, and it truly is beautiful. The pavilions, the palaces, the battlements, the fountains, the gardens, all of it. It has the perfect makings of an Arabian Nights fantasy. One can only imagine the reverence one felt while offering prayers here in the Sola Kamba Masjid, the masjid built of 16 pillars. It's just incredible. The fact that it's so absolutely white somehow makes it so much more pure. This masjid was built by the first Muslim ruler to settle down here in Bidar, Sultan Ahmad Shah Wali. This mosque is really amazing. It has great light. It also has a great view of the front courtyard and of the palace. And besides that, everywhere you stand, or rather anywhere you stand, all the pillars are lined perfectly behind each other. So that means wherever you're looking, there's perfect order. After you've been to the Bidar Fort, the next stop has got to be this spectacular location. Here lie enshrined the 7 tombs of the Bahmani Sultans, and well, it's just one of those images that's going to stay with you for a lifetime. This magnificent tomb here belonged to the founding ruler Ahmad Shah Wali, and it is the biggest of the lot. Now the painting in this tomb runs all the way up to the ceiling, and it's just so intricate and so bright and colourful, and the only source of light here is through the 2 doors. Besides that, what can I say, it just has such a feeling of quiet calm. And legend has it that if you want to make a wish, this is the place for it. If you want to wish for good health, you've got to tie a token of a horse. And if you want to wish for a child, it's the token of a cradle. I'm finishing off my day at this mosque in Bidar, and it has been a wonderful start to this journey. And now I'm moving on to the next district to explore more of the Bahmani rule. I'm on to Gulbarga. I'm here at the Gulbarga Fort, and I'm pretty excited. This is where the Bahmani rulers actually started off their kingdom before they headed out to Bidar. And this is also where they fought some really big, great battles like the one against the Vijayanagar Empire. The other thing that's really spectacular about this fort is supposed to be the view not just of the entire fort but also of Gulbarga city. So let's go and check it out. The Gulbarga Fort is like a museum of sorts that house several temples, mosques, courtyards, gardens, and so much more. And the masterpiece is what you see here behind me, the 38,000 square foot Jama Masjid, which is reminiscent of the great mosque of Cordoba in Spain. These crumbling ruins really take you back to the glorious past of Karnataka. Once you step into the mosque here in Gulbarga, you realize it's not as simple as it looks from the outside. The Jama Masjid truly is spectacular in its architecture. It has 126 pillars, 247 arches and 105 domes. Simply spectacular. You've actually got to be here to experience the beauty of this place. After you visited Bidar and Gulbarga, you can truly understand the majesty of the Bahmani rulers. And now I'm on to more history. I'm moving on to the land of the Gol Gumbaz, Bijapur. Whenever one talks of Bijapur, the first thing that comes to mind is the Gol Gumbaz. You can see it from almost anywhere in the city. This monument was built by Emperor Muhammad Adil Shah as a tomb for himself 20 years before he passed on. Now that's what I call going out in style. When you start walking towards the Gol Gumbaz, you realize why it took them 30 years to build this structure. It's absolutely beautiful, the detailing on this building, and the fact that it's so massive makes you feel tiny. While you walk in, you realize it's sheer architectural genius. There are 8 pillars on the outside, each 90 feet high, and that is what actually holds the dome. So when you look at the dome from the underneath, it looks completely unsupported, like it's suspended from the sky. look at it, the more amazed you are at how they managed to put this dome up. And of course, the cacophony never stops because everything you say echoes 11 times over. The view from up here is so completely worth those 5 flights of stairs. When you're here, make sure you do this. I'm finally here at the resounding dome, and I'm going to go check if the walls actually do whisper. From the sound of it, it certainly does. This place is really amazing. The fact that it's so high, it's white, the dome is lovely, it's windy, all of that adds up to the magic of this place. But you know what's really cool? Listen to this. The sun has finally set on my day here at the Gol Gumbaz and in Bijapur, and it's been wonderful getting to know the Adil Shahi rulers better. What makes this even more special is the fact that I get to watch the Gol Gumbaz under the stars. This is the Ibrahim Roza, and as you can see, it is an absolutely beautiful structure. It may not be as popular as the Gol Gumbaz, but the scale of it is just as large. It was built by Ibrahim Adil Shah as a tomb for his wife, but that happened to be the year that he passed away, and so this became his resting place. This place is truly beautiful. It makes such a stunning visual structure against the sky. I can see now why it inspired the Taj Mahal. Of course, when one mentions Bijapur, the first thing you think of is the Gol Gumbaz. But trust me, once you're here at the Ibrahim Roza, you will be completely awestruck by the beauty of this place. It's quiet, it's beautiful, and it truly is intricate. It's so well appreciated that even the British decided to help keep this monument alive. This place truly is beautiful. It's so quiet, calm, and the carvings on these wooden windows and all the intricate detailing outside just makes it the most perfect place to rest, I guess. This entire structure, the mosque included, took 43 years to build, and even though Ibrahim Adil Shah wanted to build it for his wife, he ended up being the one to be buried here first. That's his tomb there. Alongside is his wife's tomb, Taj Sultana, his mother and his 3 children. This place really has some sort of magic. On to another wonderful day in Bijapur, and now we're visiting a monument that's almost just as glorious as the Gol Gumbaz, except I do think it's still a work in progress. Now we're on to a monument built by the next of the Adil Shahi rulers. Well, this one is the Barakaman, and it's a mausoleum that was being built by Ali Adil Shah, but unfortunately he lost his life in a conspiracy and the monument remains unfinished, as you can see here behind me. Bara Kaman, translated, literally means 12 arches in Urdu. Well, it's said that he was trying to build it high enough so that the shade of this would fall directly on the Gol Gumbaz built by his father. Can you believe what this monument would look like if it actually got done? The architect initially built concentric arches, and once the entire wall was erected, he knocked off the innermost arches and just left the ones on the outside. And can you believe that these stones are actually held together by iron rings, not cement? Isn't that really cool? Spent 2 wonderful days visiting royal monuments, and now it's time to go ahead and check out the king of the battlefield. This is the Malike Maidan, and it truly is magnificent. It's not just a weapon, it's also a piece of art. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. The muzzle actually has the open mouth of a lion, and under its carved fangs are 2 elephants on either side. And on top of it is an inscription commissioned by Aurangzeb. It's really beautiful. Now, this weapon weighs 55 tons, and when they had to transport it from its original spot to this one here, they actually used 10 elephants and 400 bullocks to get it here. And now, driving along, it's time to move on and travel back in time into the Chalukyan era to experience a dose of their beautiful architecture. I've travelled to Bagalkot district, and right now I'm in Aihole. What a wonderful little place. This is called the cradle of Indian architecture, and once you get here, you can see why it's called so. There are over 120 temples in this area, and primarily because during the time of the Badami Chalukyas, that was between the 6th and the 8th century, this was sort of an experimental ground for architecture where practical lessons were held, where architecture was taught. Most of these temples were built in sandstone, and it's absolutely wonderful the kind of work that's been done on it. Now, this temple you see here behind me is called the Durg temple, or the Aditya temple, dedicated to the sun god. When you walk into the temple, you see that, it's not just about great architecture and carvings. Of course, visually, it's tremendously appealing. But when you look around, you see stories that make you realize the cultural value of this temple itself. The story of the Ramayana runs along the entire walls of the temple. On top, you have stories or anecdotes from the Mahabharata, and images of gods and goddesses surround the temple. So those who came here didn't just learn about architecture, they learned about life, they learned about religion, and they learned about karma. And the other thing that I thought was really appealing are these images of Mithuna couples, or happy couples as they're called, that surround the temple. I guess this also indicates a sense of society and a sense of culture. The fact that such importance is given to relationships, to love, it really makes the Chalukyan period something absolutely magnificent. It was on these very grounds here in Aihole that the seeds of Indian architecture were sown. Every style was explored and every style perfected right here, creating a style particular to India. I'm at what is the oldest temple in this complex and in fact in this area. It's called the Ladkan temple. Currently it's named after a Muslim saint who made this his home. But back in the 5th century, which is when it was originally built, it wasn't a temple. It was actually a conference hall for traders who came here, and it held up to 500 traders. It later became a temple with a linga and a Nandi statue actually being placed. One of the most amazing things about this is that it actually has the emblem of the Chalukyan Empire on one of these pillars, and it's actually also a double-storied temple if you look at it. It's absolutely incredible to think that it was built way back in the 5th century, and here it is still standing as a proof of the absolute might of the Chalukyan Empire. This is really exciting. I'm at the first ever cave that was utilized by the Chalukyan architects in the 6th century. This rock is called the Ravanpadi or the Ravalpadi, and it's called so because all these rocks look like the 10 heads of Ravana. What a beautiful location. This was the first ever rock that the architects actually carved out, and when you look on the inside, it's just incredible. It has the Nataraja, it has Shiva, Parvati, it has Ganesha, Kartikeya, so many more. I mean, it's completely filled on the inside with carvings, and the fact that it's such a beautiful color, stands out so well against the sky, truly makes this incredible. I've just gotten to the Hochapaya temple, and this temple is actually pretty untouched, which means it's pretty undamaged. So you can actually see the formations of the Mithuna couples or the happy couples. There are also a few other carvings and inscriptions that run along the walls. Now there's also this really famous inscription by a very well-known painter of the time. His name is Naraswabba, and he has proclaimed in that inscription that there was no one as great as him before him, and that there never will be anyone as good as him after. I'm at what's known as the Konth temple. Konth basically means Trishul, and here they're talking about Shiva's Trishul. Now this temple has a big puja at Mahanavami every year, and the architecture is sort of similar to the other temples I've been through today, but a few differences, like right there, the arch actually has a very Hoysala look about it, what the Hoysala architecture looked like. Altogether, it does make a lovely picture. I can imagine what that Mahanavami puja must be every year at the Konth temple. It's actually great to see some